So I'm here at nighttime, wandering through the college campus with people around, to tell you about why I haven't really been making stuff, and I don't know why I feel the need to, because my YouTube channel has always been upload unfrequently. It's not even really a channel. I'm not a YouTuber, but I kind of aspire to be, so consider this my first try. But I had things I wanted to do, but I didn't get to do them because of what I'm calling the Blogpocalypse. Yes, that's right, the Blogpocalypse. It is a disaster of RSS ingenuity, or something of that nature. But I guess, and this is just sort of an explanation to, because I have a freelance video project, which I should have been working on, but didn't. I have an anime, God, this lighting's terrible. I have an anime analysis video that I've been wanting to make for a long time. I have a video that it's finished. I've basically been waiting to upload it, but I wanted to see if I could do more color work with it in Adobe Premiere, which I have access to now. But it's, and I have, oh yes, I have theater videos to edit and compile, and I have a secret project, which some people know what the secret project is. All of that I haven't done yet, or I haven't done much of. But this is because it started before I started college. There's this blog, this fan fiction site from Pony. It's but there's this one author by the name of Bad Horse, who is, quite honestly, really interesting ideas, really interesting person. He has really interesting blog posts, and so I was looking through the archive of some of his recent blog posts, but there were quite a few of them, and there's all of these, and I was like, ooh, but lots of them were long, and I didn't want to read them. But I'm like, but if I don't actually read them and put them to save later, then I won't ever read them. And so I was kept them minimized on my computer, all of these tabs, but then I started reading through them once I started college, and then I got to one which linked to the blog Slate Star Codex. And if you don't know, you might not, Slate Star Codex is this really astoundingly interesting blog devoted to a rationalist thinking. It's written by this psychiatrist who has all sorts of interesting ideas, who writes about so many things, but a big problem is a lot of his blogs link to a lot of his other blogs posts, and also to other blogs and to various articles and scientific studies and things, and they're long blogs, and so I think so. I'm going to say tabbed browsing is one of the most dangerous inventions known to mankind, and so you can see where this is going. I start opening all of these links in the blogs in new tabs, and the number of tabs that I have on my web browser, on this web browser window, grows exponentially. it grows exponentially. And I was reading through, and it took me. I started calling it the Blogpocalypse later because there's an overwhelming number of like really interesting blog posts I want to read, but it takes such a long time to read them, and they all link to other blogs, and it was just like, oh God, when is this going to end? But it did end. Spoiler alert. But it took me to some really interesting routes. It took me to interestingly enough, to sort of my area of interest, like my academic, like I'm really interested in anime fan studies, or anime and manga studies, otaku studies. It took me to a really, really, really interesting and beautifully written article on hikikomori, or shut-ins in Japan. And then it also took me to here we are, going to Academic Row, UMBC. But it also took me to this blog, Neo-Japanisme, which had a 3-part interview with the author Patrick Galbraith, who is he wrote the Moe Manifesto, which is currently probably one of my... Okay, there was like a chipmunk or something. Add that to my list of animal sightings at UMBC, which includes a deer and a stray cat. But anyway, I digress, as I often do. But it took so this 3-part massive interview with Patrick Galbraith, who's a really interesting author and academic, where I learned stuff, but I learned stuff with all of these. But it linked me to a bunch of like other like otaku fan studies, like anime and manga studies, blogs and resources, and I was looking through that for like a long time. I'm like, oh yeah, I've arrived at the area where I really want. And I don't know how I didn't know about this before, but I learned about the Anime and Manga Studies Research Circle, which I'm hopefully going to join soon. But anyway, long story short, this is way too rambly, but I went through, I finally managed to finish up, ended with the original Bad Horse blogs. He has like some really divisive opinions and some really interesting opinions, and he's like totally against like modern art. Like he's anti-modernism, and he had a blog explaining why. But I finally finished. And what does this mean now? Well, now I'm gonna have a lot more free time. Like I was devoting pretty much all of my free time. Like I didn't really watch anime. I didn't like read books. I just read the blogs. And hopefully I'm gonna dedicate a lot more of that free time to creating things. However, I have been creating things because I am an artist scholar. I'm a theater major, and I'm also in the Linehan artist program, so I have been doing creative things. Like I wrote a short play, which is really creatively really fun and interesting and engaging for me creatively. I also like right now I am creating a piece of music. I did some photography and videography for a art project. I recently did a time lapse of the moon, which I haven't actually put together yet, but I have the photos. And I oh yes, I've been engaging myself creatively in my acting classes. or in my acting class, I should say, which has been, my acting class has been a really amazing experience. I've gotten to really sort of explore who I am and sort of my capabilities as an actor that I've never really explored before. So, long story short, I had a bit of a sidetrack from all of the creative things I'm going to do, but I'm looking forward to the future now, and I can hopefully do a ton of video editing and video work now. One of the reasons why I wasn't able to do stuff during the Blogpocalypse was that like the computer was not, my laptop was like sort of freezing because there's so many tabs open, and like Safari wouldn't work, so I had to use Chrome. I was like, if Safari doesn't work, then my editing software will definitely not work. So I didn't really do any video editing, but I've actually been closing down even more windows because I tend to keep windows open, minimized, but I've been closing them down. I'm going to do some video editing. It's going to be great. And I am happy that I read those blogs because I got to engage myself intellectually. It's like, and like sort of explore new topics, new unfamiliar topics, and I got to learn, and I got really good at like reading like long form articles. Like I can sort of keep my attention span through, I feel like I can keep my attention span through a long article now. So whereas I might have like a couple years ago, but like sort of the internet has reduced my attention span, as I suspect it has reduced many people's. And so hopefully I will be able to become the polymathic wizard that I always wanted to be. And speaking of polymathic wizards, there's the office of our college's president, Freeman Hrabowski, all lit up, working late into the night. He only gets like 3 hours of sleep each night working. But I don't want to, I need sleep, I've discovered, but I want to be the sort of amazing personality, genius, interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary person that Dr. Hrabowski is. And so I will get started on my personal creative journey. Again, I'm looking forward into the future, and if you watched all the way through this extremely rambling and incoherent vlog, thank you.